Hey, Mark here. I have a really cool giveaway for you. I'm a big fan of Johnny Knoxville, and he has a new movie coming out called Sweet Dreams later on this year that'll be in theaters on April 12th and on digital on April 16th. And the cool people at Paramount gave me two giveaway packs to get out. So in this giveaway pack, there's the movie digital download code. There's two thematic Sweet Cream t-shirts from like the t-shirts they wear in the movie. I have an official Sweet Dreams film poster, and I have a bunch of other swag that comes with it. It's like a jitter-free energy drink, canvas tote bag, and a ball cap. So like awesome giveaway packs. And if you're a fan of Johnny Knoxville, I highly recommend you enter this. And all you have to do is just be like, hey, Mark, I would like to enter for a chance to win this giveaway pack because it looks awesome. So first and foremost, check out the movie Sweet Dreams. Looks wonderful. And then, hopefully you win. But yeah, shoot me a message. Be like, Mark, I would love a chance to win a giveaway pack for the movie Sweet Dreams starring Johnny Knoxville. And thank you.
Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who wants to push you around. It's Niall Moore.
Hey, how you doing, Mark? Or over-organized Ken, as I would call you, or over-prepared Ken. Maybe?
Over-prepared. That's me. Over-prepared. That's for sure. I don't know how you do it. Like Back to the Future, you've picked some incredible films that we've covered on this podcast, but the amount of research and available information that I want to learn, like knowledge is power. But Barbie, man, there's so much out there about Barbie and so much that I admire. And the commentary from Greta Gerwig on HBO Max, which is crazy. I bought the Waxworks vinyl. I even came up with a list, Niall. So we jumped. I opened up with Matchbox 20, right? And the Push, that song that came out. And I want to ask you a question. If you like, you kind of gave me an answer earlier, but I want to get it on the podcast here. So I'm going to give you some songs, and you're going to tell me which one that you would sing while staring into someone's eyes uncomfortably the entire time. And take yourself wildly. Right. You would say you wrote the song. You would be like Simu Liu. You would be like Ryan Gosling.
I would be like Ryan Gosling. I would be sitting, being beach and being guitar and.
What would your Ken be? If you were a Ken, what would your ideal Ken be?
We tried working this out. So my wife decided that I am airport logistics Ken. I always handle the booking of flights and getting all the boarding passes done and making sure we have our transportation to the airport sorted and all of the things around travel. I'm kind of travel readiness Ken, I guess.
Travel agent Ken?
Travel agent.
So in the States we call him a travel agent. Is that a different name over there in the UK?
It would be, but it's kind of a more personal, personalized kind of thing. It's travel buddy Ken, maybe.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so what would I be? Your travel buddy Ken. I would be. I don't want to give. What would I be, Niall? I don't know.
Well, there are lots of things we could go into, but Golden Retriever Ken, I remember from your time on the soccer field.
Oh, there it is, Golden Retriever Ken. I just ran around.
Bag of energy who doesn't really know what he's doing.
See, I played soccer or football with Niall in South Korea. We were on a traveling foreigner league, and we would just go around to different places in South Korea, and play other teams. And I wasn't good, but I was probably like in the best, like top 1% in regards to being able to run the entire time, right?
Yes,
like
you had the fitness edge.
Yeah,
very much so.
Like, so a lot of them were these, we had just drunk people from Australia or Ireland or hungover Canadians would show up, and then here's me just like, give me the ball. And for the first like 80 minutes, I wasn't great. By like the 80th and beyond, when everyone was tired, I could still run past everybody. So that's when that's when they liked having me around, because by the 80th minute, I was like sprinting past sullen New Zealanders who had a rager the night before.
Who were sweating out the night before his booze, and you could smell it.
And I just zipped past them. So I was terrible, but I could run the entire time. And I showed up, and I paid my money for everything.
Which it's something that gets you appreciated in those kind of circles. It's like you're fit, you run, and you pay your dues. It's like that's a good thing.
And I knew it too. I knew I wasn't good, so I wasn't trying to be a ball hog. Like I started hitting good crosses in though, Niall, towards the end, and I was good at goal.
Yeah.
I just couldn't kick it. I could block a lot, but until I got my finger kicked in.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. You guys haven't lived life until you've been in a random South Korean town with your pinky finger bent all the way backwards. And then you end up in a place where the doctor talks to you, doesn't tell you he's going to snap your finger back, then he does it. And then you just have a splint on your hand for a long time. But yeah, those good memories. So I'd be Golden Retriever Ken. I like that. Just happy. Like nice Ken.
Happy, ball of energy, lots of enthusiasm.
Flailing limbs, Ken. Okay, so I'm going to read some songs to you here. Push by Matchbox 20, Cannonball by Damien Rice. Because I've heard when I was out there, for some reason, everyone played Cannonball. Love Tom, like I don't know. Blower's Daughter by Damien Rice.
Yeah.
Banana Pancakes by Jack Johnson. Here Without You by Three Doors Down. Iris by Goo Goo Dolls. And Breakdown by Jack Johnson. Which one would you stare uncomfortably into someone's eyes on a beach and claim you wrote it?
So when you asked me this earlier, I said Iris by Goo Goo Dolls because that was the first thing that came to mind. But I have actually sort of done this in the past. I wasn't playing guitar, but when I was 15 or so, we were having kind of a co-ed camping situation. Myself and a few friends and some girls from some other town, and we were singing songs to them to serenade them, and I sang along to Everybody Hurts by REM at that point.
Oh,
I don't know if I was doing aggressive, uncomfortable eye contact, but it was, that is something that's come to mind.
I've sung I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys to, like, in high school to people.
Yeah, I could see that.
It was great. I love that song.
Okay. I've also done the Top Gun, You Never Close Your Eyes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Or Imagine Me and You and Me. But I've done that on, like, bus trips. I've never stared into someone's eyes uncomfortably for a long period of time. But you said Iris, but I couldn't do that. Like, I'll belt it out in my car by myself. But if I have to hit those notes, I'm not doing it, right? Push. I never was into Push, but I like what Greta Gerwig was. Greta Gerwig was like, I listened to that song for decades, and I went, wait, what is this song about? But it's, Banana Pancake seems too easy. Here Without You, nah. Blower's Daughter, I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't pull that off. Cannonball, no. So I would do a song by Jack Johnson called Breakdown, where he wants his train to break down so he can go chill and talk to people.
Nice. I went through a whole Jack Johnson phase at university, as I think everyone our age did.
My buddy and I shared a CD of, like, his biggest one. And the other day I still have my CD jackets, and I put it in the truck when my wife and I were driving. And I was like singing every single Jack Johnson song, and I knew all the words. I hadn't listened to one of his albums in 15 years. And Megan's just like,
it's amazing what you remember.
Yeah. And Megan, especially with what we've gone through. But Megan was like, how do you know all the words? Like, she's like, I've never heard you talk about Jack Johnson. But, like, that was the thing back then. And it was easy for people like us or for me, who they're not really musically inclined. I can't belt out Goo Goo Dolls, but I can sing a Jack Johnson song. Like,
it's got a fairly tame register. There's not too much up and down. As long as you can kind of give yourself a certain pitch, you're okay.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I think I could do that. And I could feel and also, it's not about pushing people around, or it's not about love, or can't take my eyes off of you. It's just about, hey, I want to kick it with these people if my train breaks down. So that's my song.
It works.
Yeah. So your song would be Everybody Hurts?
Maybe. Or something by U2 that I might have done in the past, like at karaoke or whatever. Back in Korea, obviously, we used to do the singing rooms, the noraebangs.
Oh, gosh.
And I belted out all manner of atrociously out of tune songs.
Yeah, but that's at 3 a.m. when everybody's bombed. I don't think you're just eating the food and having the soju and makgeolli and mekju, and yeah, you have the superpower to sing whatever. Like, I would, like, It's My Life by Bon Jovi. Shame. I sang It's My Life by Bon Jovi in one of those rooms before, and I tried to hit the notes.
And you thought you thought it sounded great at the time. I'm sure if we were to look back on all of those moments where we thought, oh, I sang that and I sounded amazing, and it would have been awful.
Now, listen, I know we're talking Barbie, but I was in a cover band called Johnny Party and the Furious Funksters in college, and we would play sorority parties and bars, and I had a mohawk, and we were mainly but what we did was we were a 90s cover band, and this was like 04, 05, so 90s weren't that far gone. And so I just picked songs that I knew everybody knew. And I don't have that good of a voice. Like my voice is fine, but I can't hit notes. So when I'm singing Smells Like Teen Spirit, whenever the big notes hit out, I would just put the mic out to the audience and they would sing it. So I knew how to avoid, like when I was doing Say It Ain't So by Weezer, anytime it got too legit, I just put the mic out and let people sing it. It's like I knew how to deal with it. And also we went on at like 140 when everybody was just plastered, and we played for about 15,
Which helps.
20 minutes.
They're a very helpful audience.
So yeah, we knew what we were doing. But we knew we were bad. I think that's why people liked us. No one likes a cover band that takes themselves way too seriously.
No, sometimes, though, that said, I have seen a couple. I remember a Led Zeppelin tribute band that I saw who were really, really, really good, and they took themselves very seriously.
Did I tell you my Led Zeppelin cover band story?
I don't think so.
I was working at a bar, and we had a Led Zeppelin cover band, and the lead singer's fly bust open, but he didn't know it, and he wasn't wearing any underwear, so like his balls were hanging out.
Meat and two veg.
Yeah. So I walked up to him in between the song. I walked up to the keyboardist. I'm like, "Hey man, he can't do that." And the keyboardist is like, "What?" I'm like, his stuff is hanging out. And then the keyboardist goes like, "His stuff is hanging out?" So I walked up to the lead singer. I'm like, "Hey man, like, look down." So he looked down. He freaked out and he ran outside the bar. Just left, ran across the street, got a new pair of pants, came back and finished the set. But he performed like a song with,
Yeah.
like this,
Everything on full display.
Yeah.
Like something out of the In-Betweeners.
It was a very interesting night that time. But yeah, well, you know what though? It's good that we're talking about this because I got the Barbie soundtrack. A bunch of the songs are going to be up for Academy Awards. You know, just Ryan Gosling singing, Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, Lizzo. What an incredible soundtrack. Mark Ronson doing the score. Like this, I don't know. Dua Lipa like wrote change the lyrics while watching the movie to fit everything as it went. They all wrote to scene, which is like incredible. I'm telling you,
it's the story of the soundtrack is super interesting as well. I've listened to quite a lot of Mark Ronson talking about how it came to be, and it's fascinating. It all came from him getting a random call from Greta Gerwig saying, "Hey, I'm doing this movie. Could you give me a song for it?" And he didn't really have anything prepared, and he had a couple of demos kicking about that he thought, okay, maybe one of these might be okay for it. And one of them was a really rough cut of Let's Dance. Just instrumental, didn't have any of the words or anything, but it was just the music, which obviously then the words got written later. He sent that over to Greta Gerwig, loved it. And then she came back with more work and said, "Hey, can you do a Ken song?" And he's like, "Okay, Ken, yeah." Thinking it will be for the end credits or whatever, just as a throwaway thing. And then they loved that too. And Ryan Gosling wanted to sing it, so they had to make the whole big Ken musical number in the movie because Ryan Gosling wanted to do it because he loved it so much.
It's great though, isn't it? It all fits.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
We were watching that dance scene today, and we were watching just how everyone prepared for it. You know that dance party scene, the production, the costume designer for it. She actually, I have her name right here, Jacqueline Duran. She actually got in touch with Mattel and had them send her all the costume parties ever that were in that color palette. So she got a picture of all the party Barbies and Kens ever, and they recreated those costumes for that dance party. And then during the Ken song, I was watching with my wife and she's like, "I think this is the best Ryan Gosling's ever been. Like he's so comfortable, man, in it, and he just nails that song." It's and then like Ronson's beat.
The thing about him is when Ronson was talking about when they first recorded the song, it was in a studio in London, and Ryan Gosling had come in because they were shooting everything in London. Obviously, Ryan Gosling had come in to do this song, and Ronson said he was kind of stepped back from the mic and not up close to the mic as a performing artist usually would be, where they would be just trying to get the best sound. Apparently Gosling was bringing the performance of Ken into the live recording of the track, which is why he says that the recording, even on the record, has such energetic feel to it, because Gosling was bringing, the Kenergy, as he likes to call it.
That he brought just the enough amount of it.
Knuff Kenergy.
It's this movie, man. Listen, Greta Gerwig is awesome, right? Margot Robbie and her Lucky Chap Entertainment with like Promising Young Women, Saltburn this year. Like she's just on a roll. I mean, this is a actor who James Gunn says Margot Robbie like was his favorite actor to ever work with. She's worked with Scorsese, like just huge
She's
amounts
just
of
so
people.
likable.
Yeah.
She is just ridiculously likable.
And like Babylon and just has range, like just range for, and I, Tanya, geez Louise, like just has range. She produced that as well. So you have that. And then, I mean, bring in Ryan Gosling, bring in the amazing supporting cast. But then you also have, Rodrigo Prieto, who shot Wolf of Wall Street, Killers of the Flower Moon, Taylor Swift videos. He did Brokeback Mountain, Babel. He's worked with Travis Scott. He did 25th Hour for Spike Lee. Then you have Sarah Greenwood, who's done Cyrano, Atonement, Beauty and the Beast. Jacqueline Duran has done Atonement, Little Women, The Batman. She did like Spencer, Cyrano. Like, so you have Mark Ronson, Rodrigo Prieto, Sarah Greenwood, Jacqueline Duran, Greta Gerwig, who this is her fourth film. She had a film she directed in 2008, like a mumblecore movie with that whole like The Guest and House of the Devil crew. And like you just have so much talent on display. And also too, man, like I love that Greta Gerwig like survived being, they talk about being a blonde a lot in this movie. Like she survived just being like a quirky blonde actress in Hollywood to becoming just this powerhouse director. And I'm not trying to say that bad, but I think Hollywood sometimes takes people in and like chews them up and spits them out and throws them in a box. Like and then like also like, she started acting, right? But then she got in Greenberg, and then she popped up in like No Strings Attached. And then she did like what, Damsels in Distress, and then Lola Versus, and like kind of very quirky roles. And then like Frances Ha, she blew up, but now she's just sort of, I don't know, blowing up. Like I feel like she found her own way, much like Margot Robbie. Like how many actors have we seen get thrown in a box and not get out of it? Like they just kind of,
well, it happens all the time.
Yeah, 99%, right? And so
particularly for someone like Margot Robbie, where she's obviously a very attractive. That's one of my favorite throwaway gags in the movie when Helen Mirren is like, "If you cast Margot Robbie, you cannot say this with a straight face."
Yeah,
like she's objectively attractive, but sometimes you run the risk of being typecast. But she's taken really interesting roles to show her range, which has allowed her to kind of start producing things and to start basically financing the projects that she wants to do, rather than being forced to take something for a paycheck, which is great.
Yes, and getting cool movies made, like helping, Emerald Fennell, who has she's in this movie too. Like she directed Saltburn and Promised Young Woman, movies that Margot and Lucky Chap produced. And you know what's funny? I guess when I was watching, I was a big fan of Greenberg, right? And House of the Devil. And I was like, man, this Greta Gerwig's cool. Like, I like her. She's awesome. But then they put her in like No Strings Attached and Arthur. And I went, oh no. Like, in like a straight up rom-com, and then just like a PG-13 remake with Russell Brand where she's just
I did not watch that.
Oh, it's so bad. And I was like, no. I was like, get out of here, get out. And then she did Damsels in Distress with like that dance, like the Sambuca, and then she like found her footing. But it's kind of cool sometimes when you watch these actors almost in live, not like in live. Yeah, you just watch them and you see them. You see most, like, I think it's interesting the journey of a lot of like Colin Farrell and other actors who like, oh you're cool. We're just gonna have you headline a $20 million movie. Like they're like, hey, Jake Gyllenhaal, you're in Prince of Persia. Like they try to like Jai Courtney, you're in Terminator Genesis now. Like
they tried to put him in everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think it's cool when actors like Colin Farrell, Greta Gerwig, or people bust out of that and they become, like fully realized directors or actors.
Well, look at John Cena.
Yeah,
he
the Marine.
could have run the risk of just being a copy and paste Marine soldier dude, but then look at him now with Peacemaker. He is just phenomenal. He is so funny.
Yeah, and the blockers, right?
And he gets to show that.
Yeah, and he's funny, and he's in this. He's like him and Dua Lipa. She's like a brewski beer for my. This makes me so happy. But
apparently, he insisted on being a mermaid as well. Not just that he was in it; he insisted that he was going to be a mermaid Ken.
Hey, I mean, you got the Suicide Squad crew right together. But
yeah, both of them. It's amazing how many. I was going through some of the actors. How many pop culture stars there are in this movie? You know, you've got someone who's played Storm in the X-Men. You've got Harley Quinn. You've got the new Doctor Who. Ncuti Gatwa is one of the Kens.
Oh yeah.
You've got Simu Liu, who's Shang-Chi. You've
yeah.
got, you know, there are so many of these actors who are all in these kind of big studio productions, but they've done little tiny cameos. My favorite one actually that came up this week is Rob Brydon.
Yes, the Trip,
who was he was playing Sugar Daddy Ken, where he has the little tiny dog and the smoking jacket and all of this. And he was on British talk show last week, Graham Norton, and he was saying, it's like, well, I was in the biggest movie of the year, Barbie, for 6 seconds. And and Graham Norton actually had the doll of his character that they were able to give him. So they've made an actual doll. And apparently it's Sugar's Daddy rather than Sugar Daddy. In the 70s, it was Sugar Daddy, but now it's Sugar's Daddy.
Oh, it's amazing. And, you know, like whenever he popped up in movies like, Cinderella or just smaller roles, I just love seeing him in movies. And The Trip, you know, there's a bit in this movie.
The Trip is brilliant.
All three of them, trip to Spain, trip to Italy. Like there's a bit in this movie that we're like, well, let's get up at 10. All right, let's get up at 10:30. It reminded me of that bit from The Trip with
I just love the Michael Caine off where Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon just do different versions of Michael Caine depending on what they think.
Gentlemen to bed, for tomorrow we wake at 9 for 9:30. Sir, can we have a breakfast? Yes. Wake up at 9 for 9:45 with a breakfast. Like that's the best bit. I love those too. And so seeing him pop up, and also Kingsley Benadir. I'm a big fan of
he's in
the OA.
He was in the
Secret Invasion.
That was rubbish, but he's good.
Yeah. Dude, that show had like a $20 million per episode budget. I don't know, but somehow Moon Knight was cheaper. I feel bad for Moon Knight. That's a show that came in on time and on budget and was good. And then you get other shows. Well, I think it was just a lot of shows were rushed. Like She-Hulk had a $25 million budget, but I think they had to go all night with the visual effects. Like, so people weren't sleeping and they were just doing overtime. So then the episodes became very expensive. So I think that's where the budget gets inflated. But how about this? This movie costs like what, 150 mil? That's cheap. Yeah. This movie could have cost 200 million, I think.
Well, the thing is, if you look at the production, most of it's practical effects. They're not wasting money on VFX. All of Barbie Land was practically real physical sets that they'd built. The whole transition between Barbie Land and the real world was done physically, and it's amazing.
Amazing. The big matte paintings. And like, remember the leaves just going on a rotation? Oh, it's so cool.
Some dude behind the scenes cranking like a thing, making a raccoon pop out from behind a tree, or they actually had a 14-person tandem bike that they were pretending to ride. You know, it's fabulous.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, just the amount of work that went into it, and the production designer, they were talking about something funny, that all the houses are open, and she's like, that's a pain in the butt because you see everything. So if you think like, oh, we'll just do an open floor plan, it's easier. No, it's not easier, because you could just put a house up. You don't even have to look into it, but everything was open in this world. And I love that they actually dropped Margot into the car with wires. You know, they made the cars, they said 23% or 30%, 23% smaller because Barbies never fit in those cars anyway. So they purposely
made, you know, a very subtle in joke, but it works for the world. And it wasn't just the cars, it was all of the props as well were made deliberately slightly smaller because they didn't quite match up to the size of the Barbie doll.
That's why this movie made bank. It really did. And like just the way that Greta and Noah Baumbach wrote the script. And one thing I like is like Greta was talking about this when she was talking about writing the movie. And she's like, one thing we really did think deeply about with the set and costume design was to keep it like Pink, not diminishing a little girl that just loves the brightness and the sparkles and the too muchness. She's like, I loved Lisa Frank growing up. And And she's like, I'm an adult, I don't need sparkle dolphins, but there's still someone that needs a sparkle dolphin. So they weren't making fun of the colors. This wasn't tongue in cheek. This wasn't like hipster comedy. There is an embrace of Barbie, but there's also a critique of the consumerism and body image and all that. It's like, but they tackled the positive and the negative. Like this is really random now, and you're probably gonna you're gonna think this is weird, but this reminds me of like a Starship Troopers type movie where you could watch this with like your lizard brain and just be like, bright colors, Ken, songs, funny, like just enjoy it. But if you're really into production design, good scripts, good music, like you're into film, you're a film snob, you can appreciate how Greta and Noah wrote this script and made it accessible and brought the message in and made it funny and made the characters likable. So you could watch it just for fun, or you could watch it and be like, oh, this movie is tackling something that didn't really have to. Like with Starship Troopers, I feel like
is far better than it has any right or need to be.
Right? Yeah. Like Starship Troopers,
it could have probably made 500 million by being run of the mill. Just Margot Robbie is Barbie. Here you go.
Yeah, I get sucked into the real world. Oh, like it's helps some kids out. Like that could have been like The Pacifier and made like 500 million. But I don't know. I keep saying this word, but like Starship Troopers has blood, guts, and gore. You could watch it, but then you could also be like, oh, this has a take on fascism, and the way he casted the actors were because of this, and the way he wrote it. So it's like you could be a total bro and love it, or you could be a film snob and love Starship Troopers. And I feel like the same is with Barbie, and that's why it made.
I think I'm both for Starship Troopers, at least.
Right,
I'm very much in the camp that it's absolutely brilliant, and it's also completely brainless.
Right, and like that's the way you can watch Barbie, and that's why it made so much money. Like I really think it's like a ball of energy. It's a lot of fun, and like I know that Greta said she wanted to be a joy generator, and then she also wanted to be authentically artificial. Because sometimes you watch a movie and you just feel the artifice of it, like it's fake and it's precious. The artificialness of this movie felt authentic to the world,
and it was counterbalanced nicely by how real the real world seemed. It was not the stereotypical, even the high school. It's not a super clean American high school with lots of pretty people. It's just a bunch of regular kids, and she goes and talks to this kid and gets absolutely ruined.
She destroys her, give it to her. But yeah, there's a scene where she's sitting there crying, and the Mattel people pick her up at the school, and it's a very good shot in that it's flat and it's not fancy at all. It's not overly manicured. It's very real. It looks like she's about to, like, it looks like any kid would go there. It's not not another teen movie high school or Varsity Blues high school. It's a high school. And I really liked how, even Greta said that, though, is that when they were shooting it, they had they shot it with like color filters that made everything pop and made all the pink pop, all the yellow pop. But then they got into the real world and they kind of like cut they what did they do? Let's see. I have her commentary here.
Well, what else they did was they even changed the wigs that they were using on Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Based on the thing. So she had something like 18 wigs, and some of them were just to go with specific outfits, but one was specifically to transition to the real world, that Barbie needed to have real person hair.
Jeez Louise. And yeah, I saw that all the wigs that they had for her. And then she's like, yeah, we do real they worked on this for over a year. They spent a year working on all the wigs.
Well, it's an absolute passion project.
Yeah.
For everyone involved. Mark Ronson as well said he's never done a film score before, and he was asked would he do one again, and he said not unless it resonated with me like this one did.
Because I think so here she did. She said it was kind of like techno Barbie, but then when they went to the real world, they switched from large format to normal sensor, and they switched like 35 mil. So the colors didn't pop in the real world. They just, I don't know, they just thought about everything. And like I also too like Ken in the beginning, he's needy but not pushy. Like he loves her, but he's not push. Like when she's like no, he's like okay. Like I don't know, the way that they thought about it. And she said that the 2001 intro, like she pitched it to her therapist, Greta did, and her therapist loved it. She was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll do that, which makes me happy.
And that was I knew I was going to enjoy that movie. As soon as I sat down in the theater and that sequence played, I was like, okay, this is obviously a film nerd making something fun and
Yeah.
including this shot for shot remake of the start of 2001. Apparently, they even used real shots from the movie and
Yeah.
spliced it. They digitally altered one to include, I think it was shoes rather than skulls, but it
Oh
was
man.
actually from the original 2001, which I appreciated.
Yeah, they had the plates. And I was reading about the marketing of this movie. And so I had to, because I feel like this is a movie that should be studied with like the Barbie. Oh, and by the way, everybody, if you're listening, Niall and I are going to do a Barbenheimer series. So we're going to do Barbie, then Oppenheimer. Just letting you know. But I wanted to jump right into this. But it like I remember when this movie was marketed, the first picture was her in her Corvette that they showed at CinemaCon in 2022, and that blew up. And then they knew that they were going to be shooting on the Santa Monica beach, and then all the next photos were the two of them in their outfits. And
In
like
the
the internet,
rollerblades
yeah,
and
and like the internet lost its mind. Everyone's like, "This movie's great. It's done. Like, just give it an A plus." Then when they made a trailer that went on before Avatar: The Way of Water, they made sure they're like, okay, a lot of people think this movie is going to be just a Barbie movie. So they knew that millions of people go see Avatar: Way of Water. So they did the opening of their film, which was the homage to 2001: Space Odyssey. So when people went to watch Space Avatar, they got to see the opening of Barbie, and they're like, "Oh, this movie isn't like what I'm thinking is because it's a two like if you're a film nerd and you're like, oh wow, this Barbie's referencing 2001: A Space Odyssey, and like you're like, oh okay, this completely what's the word? It like resets my expectations for it." And they said they had a breadcrumb strategy where like they would do like trailer spots, whatever, but then they would do there's like a there's like a PS like an Xbox Fuchsia. There's a 1,350 cropped hoodie that you could buy for it. But then,
interesting.
but then like they realized that it stopped becoming like like advertisements, and it became more of like about the culture. It became like a dynamic like cultural thing that people were getting into. And so like it wasn't it stopped becoming a advertising campaign. It became more of a movement for the movie. And it's interesting. They had a tagline too, where they had a tagline where it's like, this is let's see, what did they say? They wanted to have something that was like, if you love Barbie, you'll love this movie. And if Barbie isn't for you, you'll love this movie. And so they wanted people like they knew that people didn't like Barbie. Like Greta's mom wouldn't let her have Barbies because she hated the consumerist aspects of Barbie. But then people love Barbie. So then they market it to people like, hey, if you love her or don't like her, you will like this movie because it's not what you think, but you're gonna like it if you like Barbie. So it was like it's like a all assault. Like it just they like I hate it's not like war, but like they like storm the beaches in a beautiful way to get this movie marketed and made and shot. And yeah, and then you get that's how you make 1.4 billion. It's that easy, Niall. Making
Yeah,
you know it's just these movies just happen overnight, not over
well,
years
it's
of like
interesting. Over the holidays, I rewatched Barbie with my 6-year-old niece who has Barbies, loves pink, is prime target demo, but she's a little bit young to understand the nuances or even the story of the film. It's very much, there's Barbie. Oh, she's singing. This is great. And she very much became disinterested once it left Barbie Land because it went to the real world and all the bright colors were gone. And then she was saying, "Can we watch Super Mario? I want to see Peach."
ah, what'd she think when it went back?
But then when it went back, she's like, "Oh, there's Barbie," and then she likes the songs and she liked all of that. But she still enjoyed. But even when I suggested watching the movie, I was expecting enthusiasm, excitement. I was like, "Oh, do you want to watch the Barbie movie?" She's like, "No, I've seen that." I was like, "Okay, can we watch Super Mario again? Can we watch Super Mario again?" So
Do you know why Super Mario? I think that movie needs more credit. I mean, it made billions at the box office, and
yeah,
it doesn't need credit. But it's so. I'm not being insulting here. It's so straightforward. It takes you to that planet almost immediately, and then it just goes. It's like I got to rescue Luigi, and then I meet Peach.
and it's
Like
got a pretty cool song in
yeah,
it as well.
Peaches, and it just like, but there's like a beginning and end to it. Like you learn the mission almost immediately after the kind of the sad sack opening, and then it just goes. and it's so like ABC, and it features so many bright colors and so many little, like, it doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. I think Barbie was brilliant because it did everything. It didn't have to do 90% of the stuff it did, right? But
No,
I also think there's a
it
beauty in the
didn't
simple.
need
Yeah,
Michael Cera to be Alan.
yeah,
You didn't need there are so many things. If this had been done by a committee in Hollywood, there would have been so much stuff cut out.
yeah, and like that's like, and it wouldn't have been as successful. And then,
No,
but I think like Mario is very much so a committee movie because there's a lot of people involved with it, but it's so straightforward that there's a beauty in the simplicity of Super Mario Brothers. You just watch it and it's just so straightforward. I keep saying straightforward, but that took some really smart moves to just make it A, B, C, D, E and just follow a really neat plot line. So kids don't get lost or bored with it. There's no real world stuff in it. Then you get peaches, then you get a bunch of bright colors. It's just fun. So like between, Oppenheimer, right? People talking in rooms, 950 million, like beautifully made.
it was some excellent people talking in rooms. I'm sure we'll get into the rooms
Yeah.
they were talking in next
Oh,
time.
man,
But
just beautiful. And then Barbie is this movie that could have just been G.I. Joe or like a PG Disney movie, and it was not. And then you had Super
well, if you
Mario
look
Brothers.
at the history of toy movies, Transformers,
Yeah.
the first one was decent. The rest, they kind of got progressively worse as they milked that cash cow.
Loud.
I don't think I've seen the last 3 or 4 of them.
I had to
the
count.
Lego movie was another one which had
Oh.
no right to be as good as it was. That was hilarious.
Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
and like I guess with also going back, man, I had to count every explosion in every Michael Bay movie for a Rotten Tomatoes article. And by like the third or fourth Transformers movie, my brain it just died. Like I had to pause it and count, oh, there's 17 explosions in one frame. And it just,
that is ridiculous.
my brain just sort of, by the time I got to last night, Mark Wahlberg became Arthur with the sword. Like I felt like I was in a parallel universe of like counting explosions. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, like Legos is good. Small Soldiers was fine.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe movies.
I remember that there was one with Robin Williams called Toys, which was really quite poor.
Not great. And I think the first G.I. Joe movie worked because
Masters of the Universe wasn't great.
No. I mean, that was a canon movie that ran out of money. And they had to film the end of it with no lights
in like a back
shadows.
In a car park or something.
Yeah, because they didn't have any more money. So this like, okay,
but
I need
Dolph
one
looked
light.
The part.
Dude, Dolph looked great, man. Courtney Cox, like it's them. So Frank Langella in that movie, he's on. Like he turns it on. Like it's the reason Masters of the Universe works is not because it's a good movie, is because it has personality, I think. But yeah, and then I don't know, G.I. Joe. The first one was okay because it was so bright and dumb and loud. Stephen Summers just made it bright, dumb, and loud. And then the second one was more realistic. I was like, not too into that one. But yeah, no, I mean, that's interesting. So your niece, when they went to the real world, because then, it becomes more about like, I'm being objectified here. And I feel there's no undertone of violence. I feel I'm not being ogled. I just feel like I'm being looked at. Like, I guess for a 6-year-old, that's not fun.
No, it's because that's at least hopefully not a lived experience for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, and she's not calling anybody fascist yet.
No, though. Give her time. I'm sure she could pull that one on her dad before too long.
And you know what's interesting? I totally missed the fact that Gloria is the one who made Weird Barbie.
Yeah,
I didn't pick up on that until I saw the.
Well, did
Easter
she make
eggs.
Weird Barbie, or did she make the other things like Existential Dread Barbie and?
Oh, so remember when she was beating up on Barbie and like doing all the faces on her? There's like a little name tag that said Gloria.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
that's a cool little one.
Yeah, so like America Ferrera's character, she made Kate McKinnon's Barbie because she wrote, like when they panned out, there's like Gloria right there. So she's like later on, she's like, I had a Weird Barbie. She's the one who made Weird Barbie. So she must have a shot. So also Greta Gerwig brings up Shining in this world. So maybe.
Well, what I'd love is I need the Arnold Schwarzenegger commentary on the scene with growing up Barbie or growing up Millie or whatever her name was. The the
Oh,
friend with, because I remember from the T3 director's commentary that Arnold
oh,
Schwarzenegger on there, and there's the scene where the TX, makes her chest inflate, and Schwarzenegger says like, "This is the scene where the TX makes her boobs bigger. I really like this scene. It's a
oh,
really good scene."
Arnold. Oh man, that was hilarious. Like just and they had Bruce Barbie in there, played by Lucy Boynton, for just a few
Yeah,
seconds.
they
Yeah,
had all the various discontinued lines that were there.
that's what this movie's good. Like it it knows about the cars, the outfits, and it. You know what I think too is a lot of people get annoyed nowadays when someone directs a show, but they don't really like the source material. I think everyone involved with this
Yes,
took
I've seen that quite a lot.
yeah, and like I think everyone sort of revere, even though Greta Gerwig couldn't play with Barbies when she was younger because her mom wouldn't let her or wouldn't buy her one. She could get hand-me-downs. Everyone still took the source material very uh, respectively because they knew that kids love Barbie. So it's like
Yeah.
they it tackled both ends, but it also respected the history and lore of Mattel's creation and made fun of like people going to jail because of tax evasion, which is pretty great. And the
Yeah, I think
CEOs.
it fell just on the right side of being loving poke rather than straight up saying, "Oh, this is kind of stupid." With things where some of these lines where it's like, "Oh, and then there was this Barbie, but we don't really talk about that." And it's like, "Okay, that's fine. You talk away, Helen Mirren. I will listen to you."
And okay, do you want to talk about some of our favorite moments in this movie? Because I think the funniest thing that always makes me laugh is when Alan's leaving town with Gloria, and he's like, as soon as these Kens learn to build the wall, not up, like like not vertically but horizontally, no one's ever gonna leave. Because
I think they'd have been there a while.
it's just they're idiots, but it made me laugh so hard that they're just trying to build a wall up. And it like there, but there's so many good moments. Like, do you guys ever, like, do you ever think about dying? Like, that's just such a really funny moment. But like, are there any moments that you love? Like, I love that Kingsley Benadire, whenever you see him later on, he always has something in his hands. So yeah, whenever they take over, he has a soccer ball, a golf club, and something else. He always has things in his hands. There's little things that just make me very happy about this movie. But what are some of the moments that makes you happy?
Really enjoyed the complete getting it wrong of what patriarchy is with the Mojo Dojo Casa house
And horses.
and horses. Men and horses rule everything. It was just absolutely brilliantly done, and I loved how all the actors leaned into it with when they were going to battle, they had their little fake horses that they were pretending to ride on. And then Ryan Gosling and his Kens turned up at the beach on like horse-shaped pedalos. And just that whole thing. When I first saw it, I thought she'd gone a little bit too on the nose on the obvious criticism of the patriarchal system, etc. But when I watched it back, I was like, no, I think it's just about subtle enough. I think it's just very, very well done.
Like, horses are men extenders, and I love. Can you explain all of The Godfather to me while I just watch it? Yeah, like this is an origin of 1970s studio films and the producing of Robert Evans. And I appreciate the Zack Snyder director's cut. It's,
Yeah.
but it's yeah. I don't think that this movie would have made that much money if they went too hard
No,
on it, because at the end of the day, you're still making $150 million movie. This isn't Promising Young Woman, which I love.
that
This
was
isn't,
excellent.
yeah, oh, awesome movie, but like that movie didn't make 100. That movie didn't make a bill. So it's
No, probably didn't make 100 million, I would say.
right, because so this movie really had to walk a fine line of poking fun, but also like just but not going too into it, but also like when you start thinking about the plot, people are like, oh, this, I guess people could poke holes. But when I was listening to Greta Gerwig talk about it, she was just kind of saying that like it's a reverse of the reverse of the reverse and not take it too seriously. Like it's not that complicated. It's not that simple. Like she just wanted to have fun and bring multiple viewpoints. I don't think this is a full on attack of anything. It's just a movie that like she wanted people to have a good time and think about things a little bit. Like I think she does a good job of that. But I think I did notice people were like, they should have gone harder on it. It was like, is this still a $150 million Mattel movie? So you can't, you know, if this was $1 million movie, you could.
If you go, if you go too hard, then you don't make over $1 billion at the box office. You will alienate, a certain portion of the audience.
And listen, I think that a lot of all the criticism's fair. Like any dude that gets mad about this is probably has to think.
Hello, can I have a job because I'm a man?
It reminded me of Cocktail when Tom Cruise wanted jobs and he had no qualifications and he was mad about it. He's like the doctor bit. Like he's like, yeah, where's the doctor?
You guys aren't patriarching well. It's like, yes, we are, but we're hiding it better.
And then just Will Ferrell's reactions, like, we've had 2 CEOs, like we have gender neutral bathrooms up the wazoo. And he calls her a Jezebel because she won't get in the box. But it's
Jezebel.
I think this movie balanced everything perfectly. I really do. And I think for a PG-13 $150 million movie produced about a Barbie toy from a toy company, it does more than it has to. It does more.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's tough to write that though. But I think the reason why it works is because Greta loved it so much. Like she said in this movie, she never has real villains in her movies. Like if you watch Lady Bird or Little Women, lots of book, but there's really no villain per se. Like there's antagonistic characters, but she's like, I realized I don't really write villains. She said, I want to give them some sort of grace I feel we all deserve, but can't give ourselves. So like there's empathy for Ken. There's empathy for Barbie. There's empathy for Sugar Daddy. There's empathy for Gloria. But there's no, like, even Will Ferrell, he's not his evil Lego character in this. He thinks he's not evil in this movie. He's a bozo.
Well, even in Lego Movie, he wasn't really evil per se. He was misunderstood.
There it is. Yeah, and that's what that works, right? You can't have villain. Like, there's no mustache twirling villains in this. Ken just was hurt, and
I don't think that works in Barbie Land.
No,
I think that would just be something that wouldn't even be understood or processed by the Barbies.
Yeah,
pure outright mustache twirling villainy.
Like if Gary Oldman from The Professional entered Barbie Land, it would be horrifying.
He was a great character.
Everyone, but yeah,
all of them.
Yeah, all of them. But I don't know, I guess for me, Greta just, I don't know. This is what happens when you have a very good director with a very committed cast. I mean, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling gave everything to this. Like, there's, it's Margot Robbie's really good in this movie when she's dancing at the party. Then she's like, "Do you guys think about death?" Like watching her slowly sort of realize things. Like it's a very sly, funny, physical. Like the physical comedy's great. Like the first time I watched it though, I kind of felt like Ryan Gosling was in another movie. Like he went bigger than everybody else.
But he has to because he's Ken. He's trying to attract Barbie's attention.
Yeah, he's trying to go big, and also too, Greta said that he's kind of like the boyfriend. Barbie's like his mother / girlfriend / sister / babysitter in a certain regard, because she's like, don't go too far, and just sort of like he runs into a wave and bounces off of it like an idiot. So like it's, I don't know, the dynamics are fun. And just Gosling's dance number, and he picked his own horse that he got to ride. Like I don't know,
doing the important things. Well, he was well into it. I saw the story about when he was being considered for it, and he was on the phone to Greta Gerwig, and he was out in his backyard, and he saw his daughter's Ken face down in the mud, and he looked at this doll and said, "I will be your Ken." His story needs to be told.
Oh, that's amazing. And he does.
Yeah.
And he bases his jackets off of Stallone, which makes me really happy. And just, he lost interest in the patriarchy when he realized it wasn't about horses. I love that. So they called it, like, sometimes there's videos in the background, and Greta Gerwig called them slightly pornographic videos of horses. And there's a moment when Alan's just watching it for several minutes. He's in the background just watching it. Like, I don't know how they got their actors to hang around for as long as they did on these, but I love it. It's
well, apparently they were a super close-knit cast. They used to go to movie screenings together while they were filming. They used to have sleepovers. They
Oh,
used to, so the sleepovers apparently was Barbies only. The Kens were allowed to visit, but they weren't allowed to stay over. And then the Kens all had to work out together in the same gym, and they all had to kind of be competitive and be
that's
in,
amazing.
working out, exercising together, and building that kind of camaraderie. The whole rivalry between Simu Liu and
Oh my
Ryan
gosh.
Gosling came out of Simu Liu doing a backflip and Ryan Gosling being jealous, as far as I know. And Greta Gerwig saw this as like, we can use this.
He's like, he's so cool. He's like, he's not cool. Yes, to me he is. And just, oh man. Yeah, no, and like, but yeah, this the competition between those two for Barbie's attention, which does show some ego, but whatever, they're dudes anyway. It doesn't matter. You don't have to look too far in this movie. But I don't know, I like seeing Simo in there, Kingsley Benedict. Like, I don't know, the whole cast just made me. I kept seeing people that I like Issa Rae pops up as president. You're like, heck yeah. Well, the actors from Polite
Sharon
Society.
Rooney, who was in, she's done like a bunch of British stuff. She was like lawyer Barbie.
Oh man, and the lady from Dairy Girls was in there
Oh
for a
yeah,
little bit as well. Yeah, but I don't know, I just loved all the actors involved. And when Rob Brydon pops up, it made me really happy. And it's just, I feel like they were able to pull. I guess what Greta said was she was able to get amazing actors for one day. Like, please let me come and be in this movie. Let me pop up for just the briefest amount. And then you get Rob Brydon as sugar daddy, but he's a
well,
perfect
everyone wanted to do it.
Yeah,
That's the thing, because I guess some of them did it without even seeing a script. They just heard that there was this amazing script going around and the Barbie movie was going to be loads of fun. And people were saying, hey, I want to do it.
like, let's say you and I are actors, right? And we're reasonably, like, we're popular. We can get on kind of character roles, whatever we audition, right? No main stars, but like people respect us in the industry. We're sitting there and we learn that Greta Gerwig, who was nominated for an Oscar for directing for Lady Bird, Little Women, she wrote a script with Noah Baumbach, who is also Academy Award nominated. They wrote a script for a movie called Barbie, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. You can get me on this movie. Like, just, I don't know what I got to be. Just put me in it. Put me in this movie. I will be background Barbie. I will be a business guy. Just whatever. Like, give me a role in this movie, because
Be street sweeper Ken.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, golden retriever Ken. But I think too is this is only a movie. We talk about blank check movies, right? So I know, Damien Chazelle had Babylon. It didn't do as well. Ari Aster had Beau is Afraid. It didn't do I love it, but it didn't do as well as people had hoped. I think this is a kind of a blank check movie that, it was $150 million. And I think, yeah, like, but this only gets made if Greta Gerwig's on it and Margot Robbie is producing it, because they have so much
Yeah,
power.
I think they had to drive so much of it to get it through and get it to not go to committee, basically. Because I'm sure Mattel were on board when it was, okay, we want to make say a studio comes to them saying, we want to make a live action Barbie movie. They would say, okay, this will sell us more dolls. Approved. You can have the licensing. That's fine.
And then they get Greta Gerwig, but you don't hire Greta Gerwig at this point in her career and have her direct by committee.
No,
I don't. She's not
a chance.
No, and also too, I mean, Margot Robbie produced this. They said Margot Robbie knew how much pink paint was used for this movie.
Yeah, so she was super involved.
Yeah.
This is going to be, I think it is the first majority female-led picture to break $1 billion,
wow,
which is pretty impressive.
And it's like non-superhero IP too. Like, this is like,
which is refreshing.
Yeah, right. And like, I think that's why it was nice this year. I mean, I know Barbie's huge, but it was nice seeing Oppenheimer and Barbie. And I like when things like this can really succeed. Like Top Gun Maverick really succeeded.
That was fun.
Yeah. And because they're all so well put together and people care so much about it. But that's only the only reason those movies happens because Tom Cruise was on a huge role for Top Gun Maverick. Like, those Mission Impossible, like Fallout was gigantic. Rogue Nation was gigantic. Like, he had that momentum. Greta and Robbie had the momentum here. So I like when people have momentum and they use it to make gigantic crowd pleasers and not a movie that only gets made because they're super big right now, and that's why they get it financed, like their passion project. I think they use their powers for good with Barbie here, as opposed to just making a $200 million movie. Like, so before this, case like they made White Noise. Noah Baumbach made White Noise with Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig's in it, and I loved it, right? But then I learned that the movie costs $140 million, and I don't really like it anymore.
That seems like a lot for that movie.
I mean, it's Netflix, so you got to pay everyone up front, but that's too much, man. Like that's like a no. People are like, oh, they'll never be able to direct it. No one can ever adapt this book. And then he gets 140 million from Netflix and makes a movie that's good. But
I would be able to make a movie if you give me 140 million. I'm sure I could manage to make a movie of a book. Can't vouch for the quality, but yeah,
like I don't
it
know.
could definitely happen.
Like I don't know what White Noise did for the world. Like with 140 million, whereas they took 150 million dollars and made $1 billion plus property that felt like it lacked a certain amount of ego. This movie seemed like just a burst of love for things, not just this is my movie and I am going to drive it by like my ego. That's why I like it too. Like do you get what I'm saying? This isn't a passion project.
Yeah, it lacks. Yeah, there is that lack of me about it. It's very much it's an understated, not understated in terms of visuals, etc., but it's not trying to point the finger at itself. It's just saying, hey, I'm here and I'm great and you should totally watch me.
Yeah, and like also too, like other movies that we're talking about, blank check movies. I think Lady in the Water with M. Night Shyamalan, I find it endlessly enjoyable, but he made it for himself. You watch Silence by Scorsese. I think that movie's beautiful, and I love the source material. But who's gonna watch it? It costs like $100+ million to make. So I like I said, man, I like when Tom Cruise takes 200 million and makes Top Gun Maverick. I like when they take 150 million to make Barbie. I like when Nolan takes whatever 50 to 90 million and makes Oppenheimer. Like I like when directors have their money, but they're also thinking about their audience as well.
It's crazy that Nolan managed to make Oppenheimer for that little. But
dude, you know, we'll save it for Oppenheimer. But the amount of days that they shot Oppenheimer blows my mind. Like it's crazy, but it's also Nolan. Like if you work on a Nolan set, Emily Blunt was talking about this. Like if you're on a Nolan set, you're probably top 2 in the industry. So I mean, you have that many good people working together.
Things go smoothly.
Like that's why Spielberg movies are relatively cheap, right? That's why Ridley Scott can make movies in 7 days and they look beautiful. Like I feel like Napoleon was shot in 3 weeks and it looks glorious. Because
I haven't seen it. I heard it wasn't great. And I heard the French weren't pleased with the depiction of their great emperor.
Well, all right. So in Napoleon's just an idiot. Like he has a line where he's like, "This pork chop is my destiny." He's just an idiot. So if you can just get on board with,
so he's Bill and Ted Napoleon rather than real Napoleon.
Yeah, he's closer to that, and it's funny. I think if you can get into your mind that it's a comedy, you'll like it. But it's made 200 mil worldwide, so it's not terrible. But also, you know, if it was better, it would have made a lot more. It would have gladiatored the box office, which Gladiator's awesome. That's such a good movie. So well thought out. Another Joaquin Phoenix, Ridley Scott joint where he plays a kind of a punk ruler. But I don't know. I think this movie, you can feel when a movie was made with love. You can feel when it wasn't made by committee. And I think it's up to people to really embrace that. We don't see many of these big blockbusters, and it's kind of nice.
I've kind of stopped I've stopped going to most of the like the Marvel movies, the blockbuster ones, because it's just they're just not that good. They just seem a bit of a waste of a few hours of my time. Like I saw Aquaman the other day, which is a very good Guinness commercial, as I said, but that's about all it is.
What I liked Aquaman's under 2 hours. That's like the best thing about it. And I love P-Dub. I love Patrick Wilson. So that's like,
he's good.
Yeah.
But then you have something like Barbie, which is genuinely refreshing.
Because
it's good. And it's not just the same, here is the superhero formula. We will follow it exactly with a new copy and paste hero with this variation on power. Okay, great. It's something actually unique and interesting. And that's why Oppenheimer did so well as well, because it was Nolan, obviously, but the other thing is it's good.
Yeah. And it looks great. And you know what's nice about Barbie? I was thinking about this for a lot of movies that are really heralded, that are make tons of money and are considered classics. Like, let's talk about like maybe T2. There's a lot to it, but it's basically just run away from this silver thing. If you look at Mad Max Fury Road, it's there and back again. Like, they drive a place and then they drive back. Like Barbie,
that movie is just a perfect road trip. It's just, we are driving.
Yeah.
They are chasing. We are driving. And it's going to be great. Somehow they managed to get a bunch of character development in while they were being chased through the desert. And it was brilliant.
And you know what's great? They drive one way, then they drive back the other way. So you know where they're going. So you don't even have to think. You're like, well, I know where they're going. They're driving back. So you can focus on characters because you already know where you are. And then Barbie, they go to the real world, they come back. I know Gloria tries to leave and they come back. It's like there's 2 trips, but it's a very simple structure. And it's not a simple movie, but they go to the real world, they come back, they got to fix it. Like, it's very simple to follow. And it's quite daring as well. Like, you look at Top Gun Maverick and the amount of work they put into the camera structure and like the camera work, 6 cameras in every plane. Like, they did more than they had to. And I think that's when movies succeed. Not just when we're going to make Transformers 5 to make bank.
Yes. And, hopefully we see more of that in the next few years, with the success of Barbie, where people take a project that they genuinely love and can try to pull it forward.
Like, look at Kingsman. That did really well. I think there are movies that can, I know it's insane and based on a comic book, but like, I want more movies like that where it feels like it's better than it has any right to be. And I know that's a stock phrase, but the amount of, like, I guess you can say that about Barbie because of what Barbie could have been.
Oh, Barbie could have been just a 90-minute toy commercial with Margot Robbie wearing a bunch of different clothes with an advert on the end with a QR code saying buy Margot Barbie here, and it still would have done okay with
But no, man, this movie's gonna be up for Oscars.
Which if you told me 2-3 years ago, before this was announced, that we would be sitting here just before the Oscar nominations are announced, legitimately saying, okay, Barbie should be nominated for multiple Oscars, not just 1 or 2, I would have laughed you out of the room.
Yeah, and it's funny, the marketing campaign too. I want to teach my students, because I remember every picture seeing, like, remember when Ken pops up and the car flips around? They released that footage early, and everyone's like, this movie looks nuts. This movie looks fun. And then you see the intro, and I think it's going to be a great example of how to market and how to make movies. And you're right. Like, I hope people watch. I mean, listen, it's Hollywood, so they'll make a bunch of toy movies that suck because of the success of this. But I also think further down the line, people watch I'm sorry I keep bringing it up, but people watch Mad Max Fury Road, people watch Top Gun Maverick, people watch Oppenheimer, people watch Barbie, and they realize that if we just like what we're making and put a lot of good thought into it, and people who are in a position to make that happen, the more that happens, I think the more successful these movies will be.
I think so. I think it's very, you brought it up earlier with a lot of creatives who are working on IP that they don't seem to like, but they're doing it because it's for the money. The most prominent one, I guess, was Netflix and the Witcher, where Henry Cavill said the showrunners hated the source material, and it's like, why are you doing the show if you hate the source material?
Yeah. and like, he left because he loved it so much,
and they were ruining it, apparently. And given that I couldn't even get through the second season, I think he's probably accurate on that.
I had to count every grunt in the show, and it definitely loses.
Your job definitely has you counting weird things.
Yeah. It's great though. I'm in a position where I just get called, hey Mark, can you figure out how much CO2 usage there is in the Fast and Furious things? Like, yeah, I got you. Like, I like that I become the guy for the craziest things. And then they let me write the scripts. So that makes me happy. So I'm not just doing the research. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, nice.
But it does lose itself a little bit. And I don't know, if you don't like the main character, why do it? But okay, before we get out of here though, you are Ken. right? And you are allowed to throw an all-night rager with like a bespoke song dancing, outfits, drinks, parties. What would it look like?
So if I'm a Ken, I guess I'm thinking, I think, yeah, do I have Ryan Gosling's abs? Can I pull off that
Yes.
big kind of
Yep.
sheep wool kind of giant overcoat thing?
Yep.
I think that's the look that, you go for, like the kind of big, heavy kind of coat.
Okay. And you they got Mark Ronson and Dua Lipa to do a song. So you could get any artist, anybody to do a song. Who would you bring in to do the song?
I'll get Daft Punk, even though they're split up. Just because I love a bit of Daft Punk, but
you can get anybody. So you would get a bespoke Daft Punk song?
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Oh my gosh. So what would it look like? So would it be like Tron looking? Like what would this party look like?
Yeah, I would be thinking futuristic vibes, kind of very much Barbie Land was rooted in disco. This is what Greta Gerwig said. This is what Mark Ronson has said. And they originally talked to one of the Gibbs from the Bee Gees to do the music before Mark Ronson came aboard, and he was unavailable. So I would be looking for more of a Euro pop techno-y kind of influence there, rather than the disco influence that you see in Barbie Land.
So, okay. That sounds amazing.
Then there would be whiskey.
Oh, what kind of whiskey? You get a brand to barrel. You get your own barreled. Like you can work with any whiskey company you want, and they have a bespoke single barrel.
Well, you need to start planning this several years in advance. Then, if you
but no, this they conjured up paddle boats immediately. They had Ken toys on sale almost immediately, so you can make these barrels pop up.
Maybe you could do an Ken Tushin. Ken branded,
triple distilled, delicious Scotch. I have a barrel. I've been to Auchentoshan. I got their single barrel that they only sell there, the gift store one. Then my mom went back.
That stuff is delicious.
I had her bring me back one. So I have another bottle just sitting unopened in my closet right behind me from Auchentoshan. Wait,
there you go.
Kentucky whiskey. Kentucky.
Yeah, you could have Kentucky.
Okay, so you would have Daft Punk. You would have big like outfits, futuristic. You would have Auchentoshan, a single barrel from them. Would it be finished? Like, what would you want it to be like? Just a good single malt?
I think I would like, I would like a nice smooth single malt. A little bit of smoke, maybe.
Ooh, okay.
I enjoy the peat.
Oh, so like an Islay.
An Islay.
Wait,
not quite Islay. You don't want to go too smoky.
Yeah, could you finish your whiskey in a barrel of like Lagavulin to add just a little bit of peat?
No, you get that from smoking the mash rather than the aging.
Not from the barrel. So. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so just a tinge of that. I like
just a tinge,
and it'd be perfect because it's perfectly bespoke. It's a perfect. Everyone. All right. What would the dancing look like?
I would think people would be throwing shapes, 90s style.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Picture a 90s rave in Europe. That would be kind of the vibe. A bunch of Kens with glow sticks.
Oh my! So like a John Wick party, or from Blade 2.
From Blade 2 without the bloodbath or the blood shower.
Oh man, that's perfect. So
maybe it could be a whiskey shower.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I was thinking I might want like a Fast and Furious style party, but you and I have talked Gross Point Blank.
Oh yeah.
You know that high school reunion dance party where everyone is just into it? Like everyone just starts dancing at once. And this is before everyone gets depressed and someone gets murdered in a hallway. But I would just love to have like a 90s fueled dance party with some delicious, what do I like? There's a Peerless bourbon in Louisville, and it's called it's like a cigar cut type tobacco leaf whiskey. It's just what it happens to be tasted like. So I'd recreate that. I would have tobacco leaf from Kentucky, and it would just be a full on like 90s, 80s dance music, and even some indie music dancing where everyone's just into it. Does that, like, you know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah, where
like
nobody's just sat at the side talking quietly or looking bored. Everyone is just getting involved.
And there's like there's no couples fighting at other tables. Like, it's just everyone's in. It's like Barbie's party, but everyone's raging like in Grosse Pointe Blank. And also, I look like as good as Gosling does in Only God Forgives in a suit. You know what I mean? Like, I would wear one of those suits. That's what my party would look like. These are great.
Yeah, be fun parties.
Oh man. All right. Well, hey, Niall, thank you for joining me, man. I know that I just thought that'd be fun to talk about. I always drag you into weird conversations, so I want to tackle that. But yeah, man, thank you so much
our
for
conversations are decidedly weird.
Yeah, that's why you've been coming on for a few years, man. I love having you on here. So also, I think your No Time to Die episode was the number 2 most listened to episode in 2023 on MFF.
Nice.
Yep, Hell or High Water was number 1. The No Time to Die was number 2, which I recorded that episode in like 1 hour of sleep. Yeah, that was a good episode. Yeah, I realized when I haven't slept, and then I record a No Time to Die episode, like it's pretty loose and fun. Had a good time doing that. But yeah, congrats, man. You had the number 2 most popular app. That's awesome.
Who was number 1?
Hell or High Water. Yeah, that one just blew up. Because I don't think there's much.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah. Like The Dead Don't Die was the most listened to a couple of years ago. I like MFF listeners. I never know what's going to be popular, and it makes me happy. But yeah, man. So look for Niall on X. Where can they find you? El Niall, right?
El Nilo, yeah.
All right, you'll see a jet setting around the world.
X, whatever.
And prepare. He'll set up a trip for you. He'll happily book you and set up the airport itinerary. So travel buddy Niall will set you up. But yeah, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Niall Moore, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.